From Hurricane Easy in the 1950s to legendary storms like Michael, Idalia, and Helene.
It's a war zone. It's your worst nightmare.
And those are just ones with names. The Big Bend and South Georgia have been hit again and again by hurricanes and tropical storms.
With each one, some neighbors suffered long weeks without electricity, hundreds of millions of dollars in damage and losses.
It's exhausting and heartbreaking. We don't know what to do next.
Sometimes going months or even longer awaiting repairs.
But there are some things you can do to improve your outlook for this hurricane season.
We're getting you storm ready right now on ABC 27. Thanks for joining us as the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season gets underway. I'm ABC 27's first to know Chief Meteorologist Casanova Nurse.
And I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Copeland. We're here at Keaton Beach with some information for some challenges we could be facing this hurricane season, plus information on how to keep you and your family safe.
We begin with NOAA's hurricane outlook for the season ahead, which begins June 1st. The decades-long general trend of active Atlantic hurricane seasons isn't necessarily expected to subside this year. While overall expectations are lower than the preseason projections for 2024, some of the factors that fuel frequent tropical storm development will be in the formula this season. Water temperatures in the tropical Atlantic and Gulf regions are running a bit warmer than average. The global El Nino pattern is in a neutral phase, which tends to create slightly weaker upper-level wind flow. Faster wind shear high in the atmosphere would usually disrupt storm formation. The number of tropical waves coming from the African monsoon pattern is forecast to be higher, giving more opportunities for these waves of moisture to grow into tropical cyclones. The path they take may be a bit more north in the tropical Atlantic than the recent past. All of these and more are considered in NOAA's prediction of between 13 and 19 named storms, 6 to 10 hurricanes, and 3 to 5 major hurricanes. This falls in line with the average from 19 other research and forecasting firms this season, calculated out to 16 named, 8 hurricanes, and 4 major. But as we've learned in the not-so-distant past, the most important number is 1. One storm is all it takes to leave a huge effect locally.
Over the last couple of hurricane seasons, Suwannee and Taylor counties have received the brunt of damage. Our neighborhood reporter Maya Sargent went to Taylor County, an area still recovering.
I'm Maya Sargent in Taylor County. This house you see here is still vacant following damage from Hurricane Helene, and I want to show you some of that destruction up close. This situation is familiar to many families in this area, yet the next hurricane season is upon us. Families telling me they're anxious and praying for a quiet season this year. When you think about the last hurricane season, what are some of the first words that kind of come to mind?
Disheartening. You know, it's last hurricane season was a nightmare, and now we're approaching the next one and just don't know what's coming.
Hope Webb has been displaced from her home due to Helene damage since the day the storm hit last September.
If you lift this up, you can see it just goes. I can't bring a 5-year-old to live here.
What damage are you still dealing with?
We don't have power, we don't have utilities. My house is open air right now.
Her belongings are in a camper, a move that's helped her prepare for this hurricane season. If a storm looks likely, she can roll her things out. And she's not the only one planning ahead. Perry Bowen at Fiddler's Restaurant and Resort says they suffered lots of damage during Helene. That included losing their laundry facilities. Now they're building a new one on wheels.
We can actually pull it out and take all of those resources to higher ground and save some damage there, hopefully.
This community has been bouncing back since Hurricane Idalia hit in August of 2023. Hope says she's not sure how neighbors would deal with another major storm.
I have no doubt the people of the county would step up in the community, but we're tired. And I think that everybody's tired. So I don't know that you would see the resilience come back quite as quickly if it happens again.
In Taylor County, Mayor Sargent, ABC 27.
Here in Lowndes County, the message isn't panic, it's preparation. I'm Malia Thomas, your neighborhood news reporter here in Valdosta, looking into what officials say you should be doing before the next big storm hits. After Hurricane Helene left over 2,000 buildings heavily damaged and thousands displaced, Megan Barwick, our county information officer, tells me the approach this year isn't drastic changes. It's about reinforcing what we know works. That means staying alert, having a plan, and making sure your insurance isn't just a piece of paper. Lowndes County officials say the playbook hasn't changed, but neighbors should treat each storm like it's the one that will hit home. That's why the Red Cross is one of the most vital resources when it comes to disaster recovery and the emotional toll.
Getting that call and knowing that someone's whole life is just gone, it's devastating not only for the homeowner, but for us that we have to go and respond to them. But it makes us feel better knowing that we're going with tools, we're going with resources, and we're going to help.
Now's the time to get ahead. Some of those steps include making sure your go bag includes water, non-perishable food, cordless chargers for electronics, and cash, as well as prep for 3 days without water or power. In Valdosta, I'm Malia Thomas, reporting for ABC 27.
Lately, there's been a lot of discussion about government efficiency and budget cuts at the federal level. And some of those budget cuts have affected the National Weather Service, which is a government agency.
Yeah, even the local ones across the country are experiencing staff shortages, delayed forecasts, and even timely repairs just can't be made. So we're looking at, maybe delayed alerts or even problems right here at home.
That's true. And even the local National Weather Service office in Tallahassee has had some recent openings that at last check have not been filled. And even though there's an executive branch hiring freeze, some critical meteorological roles are still open and taking applications. But when you have fewer hands on deck for a breaking weather situation like a tropical storm or hurricane, it can mean delayed warnings and perhaps even reduced amount of coverage for rural areas, and that can make those affected zones more vulnerable to a storm.
Yeah, and now lawmakers, they're urged to reconsider the budget because those timely forecasts, like you said, it could be the matter of life and death.
It really is, especially in those critical situations like an incoming hurricane. And hopefully we'll see some ongoing changes on that situation throughout the season, and when those changes happen, we'll keep you updated. It's not just budgets at the National Weather Service facing uncertainty. The Trump administration has ordered a review of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Governor Ron DeSantis says that won't keep Florida from being prepared. He says the state has a long-standing practice of planning as if federal help will not arrive quickly.
On the core prep, response, and then stabilize and get people back to normal, just know that we've never relied on FEMA for any of that here in the state of Florida. It's our responsibility to lead at the state, working with our great folks at the local level, and to do that. And if we're called upon to do it again for this hurricane season, we will do it again.
Florida's emergency management director, meanwhile, is one of 13 members of the FEMA Review Council. It's set to release its recommendations for FEMA reform in August.
Here at Row Roofing, we know what it takes to get the job done. We've been here for over 30 years, and we'll be here for 30 more. We understand what you give to put the roof over your head. Put your dollars back into your #1 investment, your home, your family. Because when it's all said and done, this is the sign you want in your yard. Visit rowroofing.com or call us today, 850-386-7663.
Hi, I'm Courtney the Great, General Manager at Langdale Hyundai, home of the lifetime warranty. We'd like to invite you out to see our growing new inventory. Come in today and take advantage of our exclusive no payments for 6 months. That's right, no payments for 6 months, or our impressive low APR programs on all new models. Langdale Hyundai, home of the lifetime warranty. Exclusive no payments for 6 months.
And remember, we service all makes and models.
So make the trip and we'll make it worth your while.
Our world is changing, and the extreme weather we face is an increasing threat to you and your business. If your business or property has been damaged, our teams across North America have you covered. First On-Site Property Restoration. We equip you with the resources you need to prepare for the unexpected. And when disaster strikes, we're the first on site to quickly help your business restore, rebuild, and rise. Visit us at firstonsite.com and find out why we're the only restoration partner you will ever need.
There's something about the people of Florida that makes us go the extra mile. Do our part, big or small. At FPL, we're working every single day to ensure you have electricity you can count on, using cost-effective, diverse energy sources to deliver reliable electricity while keeping bills as low as possible. We're honored to serve Florida for 100 years. FPL, working for you every single day.
Welcome back to ABC 27's Prepare Now Hurricane Special. I'm first to know Chief Meteorologist Casanova Nurse.
And I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Copeland. Now is the time to prepare for a hurricane. ABC 27's Alberto Camargo shows us what you need to consider to protect your home.
When preparing your home for this upcoming hurricane season, don't overlook the fine print in your insurance policy.
If it's the day before hurricane season, you're about 29 days too late, but it's better late than never.
I'm Alberto Camargo in the Northeast Tallahassee neighborhood. I spoke with some local insurance agents to find out what is most commonly overlooked and some other home preps you might not have considered. Insurance agents say everyone ought to double check and read through their latest policy ahead of hurricane season.
You really do have to at least open the first couple of pages and look for a form that says in big letters, Notice of Change in Policy Terms.
Alan McGinnis of McGinnis Himmel Insurance Agency says get these things done as soon as possible. First, tell your agency about any changes you have made to your home recently, like a new screen enclosure, solar panels, or outdoor shed. Next, make sure you have add-ons to your policy that cover potential water damage that does not fall under hurricane damage. Things like flood insurance for water rising from the ground, roof coverage for roofs older than 10 to 15 years, and wind-driven rain coverage.
It is considered water rain that is driven into the house without first creating an opening. So if a tree hits the roof and all the water gets in, that's going to be typically part of the standard homeowner's policy. If you don't have that wind-driven rain coverage, then you may not have it unless something punches a hole in it first.
Other insurance agents I spoke with say to check if you are covered for additional living expenses if your home becomes uninhabitable. That could include motel stays, dining, and storage costs. If you cannot find your policy paperwork to look through changes, a 10 to 15-minute phone call to review your policy is well worth the thousands of dollars it could save you in the long run. In Northeast Tallahassee, Alberto Camargo, ABC 27.
For utility companies, preparing for hurricane season is a year-round effort. FPL recently held a drill simulating a powerful hurricane strike on Florida. The yearly exercise gives FPL a chance to test its newest processes and technologies. As for getting power back on, that work may begin even before a storm makes landfall.
Sometimes what our customers may not know is that as a storm is approaching Florida, our crews are able to restore power between feeder bands as long as wind speeds are below 35 miles per hour. So if wind speeds are below 35 miles per hour, we can safely get a man or woman up in a bucket to restore power for our customers.
FPL told us there is a hierarchy for power restoration. The first focus is critical infrastructure, such as hospitals and 911 call centers. Then community essentials, think gas stations and grocery stores. After that, they look at how to restore electricity to the hardest hit areas.
Nobody enjoys dealing with a power outage that drags on for days.
That's right, and our ABC 27's Lynthius Cheney talks about dealing with your power needs while on a budget.
As Florida heads into another hurricane season, it's not just batteries and bottled water you want to stock up on. I'm Lynthius Cheney, your Monticello neighborhood reporter, and I'll show you why tech tools like this portable solar charger can help keep you connected when the lights go out during and after a storm. From solar-powered generators to compact power banks, tech tools are becoming essential for maintaining safety and comfort during power outages. According to the National Weather Service, Hurricane Helene struck Florida's Big Bend region as a Category 4 storm. The storm caused widespread power outages, leaving nearly 1.2 million customers across the state in the dark. Neighbor Keith Martin lost power for several days after Helene hit Tallahassee. He says using a battery-powered generator to run his Wi-Fi kept him connected, and keeping his refrigerator running saved him money.
I found out that the battery-powered are much more quiet, economical, and You don't need gasoline and all the fumes and hassle. I can run my refrigerator, my microwave, and a portable air conditioner all off the batteries.
Solar and battery generators like Martin's can range in price from a couple $100s to a few thousand, depending on size and capacity. If that's out of your price range, more affordable options like solar power banks for mobile devices are available online and in stores for under $50. These compact tools can at least keep your phone charged, and many include built-in flashlights to help you stay safe during a power outage. Christy Anderson, director of the Jefferson County Emergency Operations Center, encourages neighbors to assess their disaster recovery needs and start preparing early. She says her office is working on a grant to provide small solar battery backups to the community, and notes that emergency management agencies in your county may already offer similar tools for free.
We encourage residents to have a plan. Make sure that you have batteries for your flashlights. When the power goes out, there may not be light outside, and you're going to step on some debris, which could harm you. Also, I encourage residents to keep in touch with the Emergency Management Office if they have any questions. We are constantly pushing out information.
And it's not just about power. Apps like BridgeFi and Zello can help neighbors message each other even if cell towers go down. A little storm season prep now can bring a lot more peace of mind later. Lynthius Cheney, ABC 27.
Days before landfall, you will need to make the decision about whether to evacuate, and if you do, where you'll go. ABC 27's neighborhood reporter Kenzie Krieger explains it all begins with knowing your zone.
With hurricane season here, Wakulla County leaders are reminding neighbors to know their zones. I'm Kenzie Krieger in Panacea, and here's why emergency officials say it's especially important for those living south of 98.
Knowing your zone, it's very important in this county as a coastal community to be aware of the dangers of storm surge, and especially if you're south of 98, then you're in what we call Zone A, and that's how we do evacuations in our county. We call them by evacuation zone, and Zone A is always the first to go because it is there right along the coastline.
If you're told to leave, officials say don't wait and bring the essentials. ID, important documents, chargers, extra clothes, medications, and cash. Evacuations can be countywide, like during Hurricane Idalia. And once winds top 35 miles per hour, it may be too late to leave safely.
We are such a storm surge prone area, and that would be the biggest thing I want to stress to people is know your zone, know that we're very storm surge prone, and have two plans. So you should always have, in a coastal community, you should always have a plan both for what you're going to do if you stay, and that's building your kit, having all your disaster supplies.
You can find your zone by looking at this website. In Panacea, Kenzie Krieger, ABC 27.
Anyone with animals is going to need to figure out if they are taking their pet pals with them, leaving them with a neighbor, or boarding them. James Quigley, owner of Waggle and Kennel, says about half the pet boarding businesses in Tallahassee shut down if an evacuation order is in place. And some that stay open require that your pets have stayed with them previously.
It's super helpful if the pet's already stayed there right before, so they don't have to adjust everything. Everything's already chaotic.
As for emergency shelters or hotels, not all allow pets. Quigley says whether you evacuate with your pet or board them, there are some things you need to have in place before a storm strikes.
Have your dog chipped. Make sure that they have a chip in them. Make sure that they have a collar with their name on them. Make sure that they have their papers, all of their vaccination records and everything done. Have some extra food ready to go for them. You need to have their paperwork printed out, so in case the power's down and the printer won't work, that you already have it.
Quigley says while his kennel prepares for an influx of dogs during hurricanes, they also urge you to make other arrangements so they can help shelter animals that get loose.
Have you considered what life would be like with a Generac home standby generator supplied, installed, and maintained by Mathers Electric Company? All of us here at Mathers Electric want your Generac generator to operate during a power outage as much as you do. That's why we'll be here for you after the sale and installation for full service on your generator. After sensing a power outage, automatic Generac generators turn on, restoring your power, whether you're home or away. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Mathers Electric today.
Leon Iron and Metal, buyers and recyclers of steel, appliances, copper, brass, and stainless steel, will pay top dollar for your scrap metal. All things industrial, from extension cords to appliances and old car parts, and everything in between. We'll process your recyclable metal in an environmentally responsible way and pay you for it. Call our office for current rates. Leon Iron and Metal, 1351 Ainen Church Road in Tallahassee, creating value out of scrap metal.
When it comes to your trees, trust the experts with over 30 years of experience. Neal & Sons Tree Service delivers professional care for South Georgia's communities, from emergency storm cleanup to precise tree trimming and removal. Our family-owned business is licensed, insured, and committed to your safety and satisfaction. Visit nealandsonstreeservice.com for exceptional tree care.
Hi, I'm Courtney the Great, General Manager at Langdale Hyundai, home of the lifetime warranty. We'd like to invite you out to see our growing new inventory. Come in today and take advantage of our exclusive no payments for 6 months. That's right, no payments for 6 months, or our impressive low APR programs on all new models. Langdale Hyundai, home of the lifetime warranty. Exclusive no payments for 6 months.
And remember, we service all makes and models.
So make the trip and we'll make it worth your while.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
Welcome back to ABC 27's Hurricane Special. I'm Chief Meteorologist Casanova Nurse.
And I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Copeland. When it comes to disaster recovery, resilience is key.
So is the ability to adapt. And perhaps no one knows that more than the owners of Roy's Restaurant in Steinhatchee. The restaurant stood on the edge of Steinhatchee for more than 50 years. For the past 21, Linda Wicker and her husband have owned it. But Roy's took a wallop from Hurricane Idalia in 2023.
Idalia, we thought was the mother of all storms, but turns out it wasn't.
Repairs were made and Roy's reopened 131 days later. But Helene swept all that hard work off its foundations. Today, Roy's is operating as a food truck, but the Wickers still have plans for a comeback.
We've all had quite a hit, so it's not just been us. But you get up every day and you find something that you can do to move forward. Maybe it's just a little something, but okay, that's one more thing I don't have to do. It's behind us.
They tell us it will be at least 1 year before they reopen as a brick and mortar operation. Social media can be a great tool as storms approach, but some of the most popular content creators may steer you wrong. I talk with an expert about why you should exercise a healthy dose of skepticism.
Our world is changing, and the extreme weather we face is an increasing threat to you and your business. If your business or property has been damaged, our teams across North America have you covered. First on-site property restoration. We equip you with the resources you need to prepare for the unexpected. And when disaster strikes, we're the first on-site to quickly help your business restore, rebuild, and rise. Visit us at firstonsite.com and find out why we're the only restoration partner you will ever need.
When it comes to your trees, trust the experts with over 30 years of experience. Neal & Sons Tree Service delivers professional care for South Georgia's communities, from emergency storm cleanup to precise tree trimming and removal. Our family-owned business is licensed, insured, and committed to your safety and satisfaction. Visit nealandsonstreeservice.com for exceptional tree care.
Here at Row Roofing, we know what it takes to get the job done. We've been here for over 30 years, and we'll be here for 30 more. We understand what you have to put the roof over your head. Put your dollars back into your #1 investment, your home, your family. Because when it's all said and done, this is the sign you want in your yard. Visit rowroofing.com or call us today, 850-386-7663.
Have you considered want your Generac generator to operate during a power outage as much as you do? That's why we'll be here for you after the sale and installation for full service on your generator. After sensing a power outage, automatic Generac generators turn on, restoring your power, whether you're home or away. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Mathers Electric today.
Leon Iron and Metal, buyers and recyclers of steel, appliances, copper, brass, and stainless steel, will pay top dollar for your scrap metal. All things industrial, from extension cords to appliances and old car parts, and everything in between. We'll process your recyclable metal in an environmentally responsible way and pay you for it. Call our office for current rates. Leon Iron and Metal, 1351 Ainan Church Road in Tallahassee, creating value out of scrap metal.
Not too long ago, before the widespread use of digital media, folks who wanted to know about a tropical forecast would go to their local news station or a website or even the National Hurricane Center, using information from professionals who comb through mounds of data to give their best guess projection about what a storm will do and where it will go. Computer-driven forecast models, once confined to the use of trained meteorologists, are now accessible to anyone with a digital device. And social media makes glancing at them in news feeds almost synonymous with seeing the summer sunshine. While perhaps insightful to users to see how the actual forecast is made, digital media influencers have made a habit of sharing dubious long-range hurricane projections with limited to no context. Julianne Folsom of Lifespan Psychiatric Services says taking in so many premature depictions can really go to your head.
It activates the limbic system in people's minds, and that limbic system causes us to go into fight or flight mode. And that fight or flight mode causes a lot of increased unnecessary anxiety.
And rash decisions before any forecast precision often leads to scarcer resources for those who really need them.
People who really need those resources may be in a different area and need to come to that area that the people have used up the resources at. And it could have devastating consequences.
Some Facebook weather-focused influencers have thousands, even millions of followers, more than most local TV stations. Folsom suggests flashy charisma doesn't always mean forecast reliability.
We need to understand that these people are on social media mostly, for those clicks and views. They're not necessarily there to be your meteorologist or your friend.
If you get overwhelmed by the forecast frenzy, Folsom offers ways to curb your anxieties.
I would suggest only checking media sources 1 to 2, at most 3 times a day, and going to your trusted media sources.
And remember the reliable local information sources that are on your side.
Listening to our local stations and understanding that they have our best interest at heart, that they have all of the trusted information that we need to focus on.
Well, that's all the time we have for now. But to get more information on how you can prepare for hurricane season, visit us at WTXL.tv.
And make sure to download the WTXL News app so you can stay connected to First to Know weather and be in the know all hurricane season long. As a Florida native, I know some of our favorite things in the Big Bend in South Georgia happen outside. And the weather is the last thing you want throwing off your plans. That's why the First to Know weather team is always tracking the changes outside that will